Hi, I'm here today to tell you why texting while driving is dangerous. You know the sound when your phone goes off, the ding ding? That's your lifeline. You know that either there's juicy gossip going on or your favorite boots went on sale, and you think you're invincible. So you take your eyes off the road for just a second, and before you know it, you crash. You cause a wreck. And you potentially can kill yourself or the people in the other vehicle, or both. And so, in those instances, a sheriff shows up at your family's house, knocks on the door, and when they open it, their heart sinks. They know what it's about. And no family should have to go through that, since we have ways to prevent death from texting while driving. And that's why I'm an advocate. I want to save lives. I have statistics, and I firsthand have seen and been part of crashes that have been due to texting while driving. And so that is why this speech is credible. The problem with phones and drivers is that when you get into the vehicle, you're not done with your conversation. You're not done with your shopping order or whatever you're doing. So you're distracted the whole time you're in the car. And so before you get in the car, you need to finish what you're doing or finish it when you get to where you're going. That way you can focus on the road and you're not distracted. Drivers are unable to take themselves out of the conversation, and this causes accidents. Society today proves that people cannot live without their phones. And every time a phone makes a sound or lights up, your full attention goes to it. You take it off the road and you put it to your phone. And so this is why phones need to be out of sight, turned off, or on silent, and the do not disturb button put on. That's one way to prevent crashes and death from texting while driving. Also, cell phones are important. They help in emergencies. They allow you to let the person know that's worrying about you that you got to where you're going very safely. And you're able to use it for directions. Phones are important, but you have to use them in a smart way and not a way that you're going to cause a crash. And so cell phones have become lifelines. And social media and companies like Apple have made cell phones take over the ability to make you think clearly and logically. So the next time that you're checking your phone on the road, remember these statistics. 660,000 drivers use their phones while driving. 400 deaths are caused from texting while driving, and 30,000 deaths are caused by distracted drivers. You may think 400 deaths is not a lot compared to 660,000, but there should not be any. And so we need to work on getting the 400 decreased to 0. The amount of deaths due to texting and driving each year are tearing families apart. Drivers need to be held accountable. They need to silence their phones. They need to pull off on the side of the road to check it. They need to wait till they get to their destination, because whatever is happening on your phone is not as important as someone living. In a world where texting and driving isn't an option, helps prevent stress, anxiety, distraction, guilt, death. The decision to text and drive not only impacts you, but it impacts the families and the drivers of the other people in the vehicles. All drivers should be required to take an education class to educate you each year on new ways to drive safely. And if it doesn't stop, then the death rate will continue to rise. And unfortunately, the driver that possibly kills you may not be held accountable for their actions. And that's what their families have to live with for the rest of their lives. Those who text and drive may end up killing a little kid, may end up killing someone walking in a crosswalk, some defenseless person. And people don't deserve to die because you could have waited until you got to your destination to check your phone. Think about this. You get in your car instead of walking. Not even a minute later down the road, you get into a wreck because someone was texting and driving. You're laying there defenseless, and you don't get to say goodbye to anybody that you love or care about. And you die a slow death. Nobody deserves that. Families, friends, the law, all need to hold people accountable for their actions. If parents can check in with their kids each day to remind them to not text and drive and to silence their phones, then maybe less deaths would occur. Phone companies can raise rates of drivers who text and drive, but also can be rewarded for not texting and driving. Social media, commercials, and radio advertisements can help remind drivers to drive safely and not text and drive. If all else fails, parents can just take away their kids' phones. Cell phone companies can cut phones off. Whatever we need to do, app developers can create more apps that can help to silence phones while driving. Whatever needs to happen now, because 400 deaths is too many. If we don't start making changes, then each month we will see the death toll rise instead of decrease. And no family deserves to lose their baby. Thanks.